It's February 2007, and Michael Broadley's competing for a place in the British team for the World Skills Olympics in Japan next November. Competitors must build brick structures with extreme accuracy. They're penalised if they're not plumb, level and true. World Skills is held every 2 years. Everything from the building trades to hairdressing, beauty therapy and automobile repair are represented. The British selection event is taking place in Coventry and Warwickshire. Out of 60 competitors, only 23 will make the team for Japan.
What this event does is address vocational skills as professional skills, and you need professional judgment in order to succeed at World Skills.
Michael Broadley's won the Northern Ireland Championship twice, and last year he was the Skill Build UK champion and best overall apprentice, so he's a front runner. He's up against 3 other young brickies, and they've got 3 days to complete a series of fiendishly complex brick walls. A week before the selection event, and Michael's on his way to work on a building site near his home in Ballymena.
The job is a one-off house in the countryside, so it'll more than likely be building from the foundation up.
He travels light.
That's all I need.
Michael, if you want to go over to where you were last night and get started onto that, and Graham and I will get the head set up on the scaffold for building on at the garage.
Do you need a hand with the heads? Or
Michael's self-employed, and today he's helping to build a large private bungalow. He's doing block work for the man who gave him work placements during his NVQ levels 1, 2 and 3.
Michael's been with me about 5 years now. He come from school, come right through the system when he left school at 16, and he's been with me. Michael to me was like a sponge. He just soaked everything in, you know. Yeah. The wee things he done, the wee flick of the trowel, the wee everything he watched and he learned, and he just built it up. He built it layer upon layer, and he was extremely interested and enthusiastic.
Michael's picked up a lot of the tricks of the trade already.
Because they're that heavy, you don't really have a lot of strength with really controlling them. Fumbling around like that, then they're having to tap it in, and then that push everything else off. But trying to get it in and down, just perfect.
A good brickie knows how to lay a decent mortar bed.
Placing it on the wall, cutting it once, twice, and once you've spread it back, point the trowel into it. If you just left it smooth and you put your block on, it's going to be harder for it to sink into. On with the joint. But some people, they'd put too heavy bed on. All the mortar on the inside is all dropping down the cavity, which is a bad thing, obviously, because if there's mortar all on that, then all the damp would just come straight along the wall tie and it come onto the inside again, and then you get a big wet patch on the inside of the house. Because this is a wider joint, and there's not enough room to bring it to one side and put a brick in one side, you know, just fill in this joint. For quickness, for speed, we have block hammer, 5 fingers sort of thing. You know, it sounds rough and ready, but have a block hammer on the end of the block, 5 fingers where you've measured it. Cut down the straight line. Still comes out about the same as you would with a bolster.
Philip's so impressed with Michael that he's put him in charge of supervising 2 rookie bricklayers who are still at college.
Knee down at that side there, Cole.
And is Michael a good teacher?
Yeah, he is. He lets you know without embarrassing you in a way.
So he does.
Which is good. If you do something wrong, he'll let you know nicely, no?
The British selection event is run by UK Skills, an organisation championing skills and learning for work. They appoint expert training managers like Mike Burdett to coach and prepare the competitors. They're volunteers from either the FE sector, universities or from industry. During the competition they act as impartial judges, and in the run-up Mike had to make sure he gave all 4 bricklayers an equal amount of help. He visited Michael at the college in Antrim where he did his NVQs. The training managers use pull coaching techniques to help competitors to analyse their skills for themselves. This is at the heart of the UK Skills approach, to get competitors to take responsibility for their own training.
Where do you see your main weaknesses with this particular?
Main weaknesses, I think, really jointing-wise, jointing and finishing. I think that's my weakness all in. I need to improve on that somehow.
Yeah. I mean, if we just look at your jointing now, if you just want to come down and have a look, there's a joint there that's missed.
Yes.
Okay. There's a corner Harris there that's missed. This is often a common area where defects can be found in here. You've got the slight tram lines where you've run it in, but you've not squared it off against all the Harrises and etc.
See, this is what I use for the recess jointing.
I think these are great for that sort of depth.
Yeah.
But you can quite easily get a little bit deeper, can't you? So again, that's just a technique that you'll need to practice on. Okay.
While Michael gets more practice in, Mike Burdett met up with the college tutor who taught Michael for 3 years. He's very proud of his protege.
The one thing that I've noticed about Michael, it's his versatility and adaptability, because I'm sure you'll have seen with being out there on the site this morning that there's a lot of block work goes on here and rural work, so therefore Michael does not get a big opportunity in building facing brick. He did get a considerable amount of brick building at level 2, maybe slightly less at level 3 due to various portfolio commitments, etc. But we still managed to plug in some good solid training, and I felt that with that determination, the experience he was getting in site, what we had done in the workshop, etc., then I'll be honest with you, I felt I had a winner, to be truthful with you.
Good.
Practice makes perfect. Michael's been given plans for the complex brick wall he'll have to build next week. But there's a catch.
The only thing is, it's subject to 30% change. So they could change the shape of the panel, they could change this corbelling, they could, make it different, they could make it another brick wider or something, they could do something completely different in the middle, so. They don't want you basically practicing over and over again this one piece and then having it perfected. They want to mix it up a bit.
Mike Burdett took Michael to a development site in the centre of Belfast. He wanted him to learn from specialist bricklayers. Modern techniques on an old Victorian building being converted into offices. First up, a radius curve, 4 stories high.
You've just seen Mike plumbing the radial bricks. What would be another alternative for maintaining the curve of this corner?
You could use a template or a channel, but personally I think plumbing, I'd actually rather plumb it myself, to be honest. I'd rather do a lot of sort of freehand.
Depends on the size of the circle. If it's a bigger circle, you'd probably be better tilted.
I maybe checking over it once every couple of courses or something.
The architects have specified hanging bricks to give a tidy and attractive finish to window openings. It's a deceptively complicated technique that's new to Michael.
We're building these hanging brick and we're putting these wee plates on, and they go up in the slot there and turn around like that. Okay. And then we pass that bar through. They're 300 long, the bars, which will span.
Oh yeah,
both sides of the brick.
You've got 40 mil already near enough there.
The way the holes are, we fill that up with cement.
Yes.
And then I slide that in. Slide that right through, right up tight, and form the joint here, and then smooth it in with a sponge.
Every brick handle he puts on there, Michael, then is actually cemented in. So when we take the support away here, everything's in place. It doesn't slip,
I've never seen or even heard of anything like that before. It's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Back home in Ballymena, Michael's been working for the past 2 years on a garage extension in the back garden. The blockwork tells a story of how rapidly he's improved his skills.
It's sort of a work in progress. As I went up, I've got the blockwork went from being rubbish down at the bottom to starting to get a lot tidier up the top. The beds are all tidy and the joints are tidy and stuff, and I'll give you my word that it's built to the plumb, so. It's supposed to be 200 mil from this black felt to this corner. But as you go up, as you follow the way up, you can tell that the joints, start to just get ever so bigger as they go up. So you can see it's just laying in slightly, Whenever you get into your training more, you become more fussy, and I could look at one and I could say that's not plumb, that's laying in. And you could put a level up to it and you can see it's like, you can tell that it's 1 or 2 mil off. And when you get that sort of vision to be able to get it as accurate as that, then you're not doing too bad.
At the North East Institute in Ballymena, Michael's studying for an HNC in building services. Although he's happy to be bricklaying on site for now, he's got big ambitions for the future.
It's not really just about winning competitions. I never set out thinking, you know, oh, I want to do a competition in bricklaying. But just as I've gone on, I realised you never know what's going to happen late in life. So I thought it would be good to have something else I could step onto and further my career.
The course gives students a wide range of practical building experience, from CAD design to project work, where students use a real-life building scheme as a model for developing their team working.
Washhand basins, I need a water feed in there. Freezer, I need stuff in for there as well.
The idea is to provide entry routes into specialist and managerial sectors of the industry.
Bricklaying itself is very lucrative at the minute. Many bricklayers earning in excess of £1,000 per week, but they can go on to become site managers, which would be a favourite one, and particularly something that contractors look for, people who have already the vocational skills and knowledge of the practical work on site, and then move on to become usually excellent site managers. It could be an engineer. Sometimes people move on to architectural aspects, quantity surveying, health and safety inspectors. There's a wide range of different opportunities that are available.
It's day 3 at the World Skills Selection event, and the 4 bricklayers have done some stunning work. All Michael's practice at college looks to be paying off. He looks like the front runner with only an afternoon's work to go. But suddenly Michael's looking rather distracted. He's stopped working on his walls. He's made a dramatic decision. If he wins, he faces 8 months intensive training ahead of the trip to Japan. He doesn't want to go through with it.
I've got other priorities which are more pressing at the moment. If I did get through, I would only pull out a couple of weeks or months down the line, and there's no point mucking about everybody about, really. So in the end, it really just came down to either carry on with the way I'm going with all my career opportunities, or go to Japan. So I sort of thought in the long term it's going to be better getting qualifications than it is winning a medal and then being forgotten almost. So
Michael worked through to the end of the competition, but he didn't want his work judged. For UK Skills, it meant the loss of a top candidate. Michael was likely to win selection. But he made his decision for what he saw as the right reasons.
We actually know that, objectively, Michael's performance was the best at that point. So he was making a decision from strength. He wasn't being panicked into a decision by looking at other people's work. He's just decided to retire at that stage, and good.
Michael's going to concentrate on his career back home in Northern Ireland, safe in the knowledge he has a bright future and that he remains the current UK champion bricklayer.